Then why ask about her desire for a child? I think it'd disconcert our enemies and put Irulin in a vulnerable position should you make her pregnant. He read by the movements of her hands on his legs what that statement had cost her. A lump rose in his throat. Softly, he said, Chani, beloved, I swore an oath never to take her into my bed. A child would give her too much power. Would you have her displace you? I have no place. Not so, Sihaya, my desert springtime. What is it this sudden concern for Irulin? It's concern for you, not for her. If she carried an Atreides child, her friends would question her loyalties. The less trust our enemies place in her, the less use she is to them. A child for her could mean your death, Paul said. You know the plotting in this place. A movement of his arm encompassed the keep. You must have an heir, she husked. Ah, he said. So that was it. Chani had not produced a child for him. Someone else, then, must do it. Why not Irulin? That was the way Chani's mind worked. And it must be done in an act of love because all the Empire avowed strong taboos against artificial ways. Chani had come to a Fremen decision. Paul studied her face in this new light. It was a face he knew better in some ways than his own. He had seen this face soft with passion, in the sweetness of sleep, awashed in fears and angers and griefs. He closed his eyes, and Chani came into his memory as a girl once more, veiled in springtime, singing, waking from sleep beside him, so perfect that the very vision of her consumed him. In his memory, she smiled, shyly at first, then strained against the vision as though she longed to escape. Paul's mouth went dry. For a moment, his nostrils tasted the smoke of a devastated future and the voice of another kind of vision commanding him to disengage. 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 His prophetic visions had been eavesdropping on eternity for such a long while, catching snatches of foreign tongues, listening to stones and to flesh not his own. Since the day of his first encounter with terrible purpose, he had peered at the future, hoping to find peace. There existed a way, of course. He knew it by heart without knowing the heart of it. A rote future, strict in its instructions to him. Disengage, disengage, disengage. Paul opened his eyes, looking at the decision in Chani's face. She had stopped massaging his legs, sat still now, purest Fremen. Her features remained familiar beneath the blue Nethoni scarf she often wore about her hair in the privacy of their chambers. But the mask of decision sat on her, an ancient and alien to him way of thinking. Fremen women had shared their men for thousands of years, not always in peace, with a way of making the fact non-destructive. Something mysteriously Fremen in this fashion had happened in Chani. You'll give me the only heir I want, he said. You've seen this? She asked, making it obvious by her emphasis that she referred to prescience. As he had done many times, Paul wondered how he could explain the delicacy of the oracle, the timelines without number, which visions waved before him on an undulated fabric. He sighed, remembered water lifted from a river in the hollow of his hands, trembling, draining. Memory drenched his face in it. How could he drench himself in futures growing increasingly obscure from the pressures of too many oracles. "You've not seen it, then," Johnny said. That vision future scarce any longer accessible to him except as the expenditure of life-draining effort. What could it show them except grief? Paul asked himself. He felt that he occupied an inhospitable middle zone, a wasted place where his emotions drifted, swayed, swept outward in unchecked restlessness. Johnny covered his legs, said, "An heir to House Atreides. This is not something you leave to chance or one woman." That was a thing his mother might have said, Paul thought. He wondered if the Lady Jessica had been in secret communication with Johnny. His mother would think in terms of House Atreides. It was a pattern bred and conditioned into her by the Bene Gesserit, and would hold true even now when her powers were turned against the sisterhood.